Cincinnati, New Jersey. And I remember coming to Paterson. I had a lot of family in Paterson. So I remember coming to Paterson a lot when I was younger. My mom is of Middle Eastern descent, so like we used to go to like South Paterson a lot to eat and stuff like that, like cousins and stuff, and hang out. So I do remember Paterson from a young age, and not so much this area. This area was like off limits and stuff like that back then, and obviously that area was acceptable. But like every weekend we would come out to Paterson, hang out, and then obviously the remainder of my childhood was West Milford. I think like really when I was younger, I think that the main problem that I had was like not necessarily fitting in, but I guess fitting in with the right crowd as opposed to like everyone. I was kind of like a very talkative kid. I was pretty intelligent. I did pretty well in school and stuff. And I think I kind of like, as opposed to having one friend group, I wanted to be friends with everyone. So, you know, you kind of, not necessarily buy your friends, but it was just like, you know, nice to this person, this person, this person, this person. You know, become a jokester, whatever it is, you know. And I think that being so young and doing all that, I think I started surrounding myself with an older crowd that eventually kind of introduced me into a world that I probably shouldn't be introduced to.
What age?
It was around 14, 15. So 14, 15, I grew up in a very nice suburban neighborhood in West Milford. And one of the neighbors, actually, mother, started dating a dealer in Paterson. So I actually knew her, and I went there one day to like smoke some weed or something, and I see this big, scary-looking dude. He's like, you know, he's like, yo, what's up? Like, and I wasn't really accustomed to that besides being in Paterson young, you know, and like shopping or whatever. So I was kind of like, who the hell is this guy? And he's like, hey, what's up, bro, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you smoke, blah, blah, blah. And I just remember seeing him counting money, and he had different stuff. I didn't know what was what really, but I remember seeing him counting money and just being like impressed. You know, and I kind of think that was like a point when I said like, oh, okay, like you know, he's dealing, or he's doing whatever he's doing. You know, maybe I could do that. Maybe that's something I could do. You know, so I ended up talking with the guy, and he ended up being okay. So now I'm young. I'm like 14, 15. Not legally able to drive. Within that same year, by the time I'm like 15, I'm driving to Paterson every day with this guy. He's picking up, who knows, you know, coke, dope, whatever, ecstasy pills, weed, whatever, and I don't even know what that stuff is, and I'm just getting weed. So I'm getting marijuana off him, and I'm, you know, obviously, you know, I don't want to indict myself, but getting rid of it in my hometown, in the suburbs. And, you know, it was different because back then everyone had kind of garbage marijuana, and this was, you know, from Paterson, so it was a different quality of weed, and people were like, where does that come from? What is that? So obviously I was smoking a lot then, and then I think kind of because of that situation, that's when like I kind of like grew up way too fast. Like everyone was kind of just like, you know, going to parties, stuff like that. And I was like, nah, I gotta do this $800 deal with this guy that I met, whatever. And I'm like, again, not even legally able to drive at this point. So it's like, you know, I have I'm one of four, so 4 siblings, an older sister, younger brother, younger sister. My little brother is like my right-hand man, kind of. He was a little too much craziness. So I started, you know, dabbling in like selling other stuff, and like it was really selling first for me was the main thing, and I started making decent money, and then I started making real money. And as I was making money, you know, I was watching friends get addicted to other things, like coke, weed, whatever it was, drinking, and I kind of was just fine. Like I was kind of just like maybe occasionally, because I was more about the money. And then, obviously there came a turning point. I remember I was like 16, 17 years old, and Oxycontin. Oxycontin was really the big turning point for I think a lot of people. I'll speak on the I, but it became like a party drug. It was like as simple as like, oh, you want a beer? Yo, you want to split an Oxycontin 80? It was like that, and like no one really realized what they were doing at that time. We were young, and I think everybody that was doing it, didn't even, like after doing it, like, hey, you want to split this? Hey, you want to get 2 of these and doing them? And we're doing them in school, we're doing them all the time, and then like you wouldn't have it and you would get sick, and I'd be like, oh, I have the flu. I didn't even know that I was getting sick from that, because like we were so naive and so young at that point. And again, it came to a point in time where I was like selling and using and all this, and I think, again, another turning point is when I started really kind of like getting high, like on the regular. Like I had a full-blown habit. At this point in time, I was looking at colleges, stuff like that. And then this is the crazy part, and obviously you don't know this yet, but now, so I ended up not taking like scholarships, stuff like that, messed that all up, but I ended up going to school for pharmacy. So I ended up doing pharmacy school, and it obviously the goal wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go to pharmacy school so I could get a whole bunch of pills. But while I was in school, I actually, oddly enough, was in a program at this point, had gotten into a program, and I started working at a pharmacy in Hoboken. Hoboken's a very nice place.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
So from the transition from my life then to basically being done with high school, jumping into college, and then within like a month of being in college, I'm in a program and working at a pharmacy. Now I'm like, all right, I got to calm down. And that's what I did. So I calmed down. So for like the better part of a year, I was like clean. I stopped the pills. I was taking Suboxones and Xanax, but like kind of like as you should. I wasn't going out, wasn't partying. I started getting into working out and fitness and stuff like that, and like, and then, while I'm working and stuff like that, I was like really, interested obviously in the pharmaceutical, the aspect of that. And then, I just kept hearing, stories about friends now. So now I'm in Hoboken, I'm working at a pharmacy, I'm in pharmacy school, I'm kicking ass, and I'm hearing this person, is doing heroin now. Now I'm starting to hear about heroin in Patterson. I'm like, oh, screw them, like, how the hell did that happen, because I'm better than, not necessarily I'm better than, but I'm in Hoboken. I'm this, I'm doing this. I have a car, I have this, I have these things. I'll never, ever be like that. Or this person crashed his car, and then, one of my childhood friends passed away, God rest his soul, not from an overdose, from a car accident, and that was kind of like when everyone saw me for the first time. So now I'm 20 years old, I come back to town, I got the whip and stuff. I'm in Hoboken, which I'm 35. People are moving there now, thinking they're cool. This was like 15 years ago. I was the man. I was like, yeah, Hoboken. Oh, you guys might not know about Hoboken, but, I thought I was so cool. And, it became a whole thing about, the money, the girls, the cars, the selling, the whatever. And that's when everything took off. I eventually ended up relapsing, but at the time that I relapsed, I was making a significant amount of money. I won't really get into that part, but I was doing large-scale things, enough to warrant the feds. So that occurred. So obviously that put a little damper on the pharmacy school, and once that occurred, that kind of didn't destroy my pharmacy career, but it definitely put it on hold, because obviously you can't get arrested by the feds for, a conspiracy and continue doing that. So obviously I had to do certain things to make sure I didn't lose the licensure, and obviously do certain things to, get myself better. And it wasn't really until I came home from the feds that I realized that okay, now I'm not in Hoboken. Now I don't have money. Now I can't sell. Now I'm caught. Now I have a record. And now it's not fun anymore. And that's when I started, talking to some people, and they were like, hey, listen, if you can't get pills, you don't have access, whatever it is, feel free, I get dope. And I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. This person doesn't, it's you guys. And he ended up giving me some, and I was like, oh, I'll buy it. And they were ripping me off. I was paying crazy amounts. And then obviously me being me, I have to buy a bunch, I got to get this. So now I'm going to Newark, I'm going here, I'm going to Patterson. I get arrested again. Thank God that case got dismissed, because transit police stole the money and the drugs. So yeah, so that case that was pretty cool, but yeah, I got lucky there, but because otherwise I would never have had experienced it. But I think once, I started doing the dope was when everything just started going downhill. Then it was, dope, 30-day program, halfway house, get a job, work, get out of the halfway house, get a girlfriend, think I could drink and smoke weed, do Xanax, shoot and dope. And then once I'm doing dope, it obviously came to a point where I would come out here and I started staying out here more and more and more, because I'm not going to drive to West Milford. I only have $10. I got to steal someone's car, family member, whoever's, with $10, drive all the way down here, spend that $10. It's not worth it. I'll just stay out here. I could figure out how to make money, and I eventually did. I figured out I could panhandle, I could do this, I could steal shit, whatever. It wasn't really my MO to boost and steal shit, but we all, fall short. Yeah, of course. And I think really once the panhandling thing, I started panhandling, I started getting accustomed to being out here. Unfortunately for me, I was a little too generous and nice when I was first out here, because I didn't really know. Oh, you're going to get me back tomorrow? No problem. Here you go. Oh, you're going to get, I had unemployment, so I did my thing. And, it really just has been on and off, get clean, rehab, 30-day, 60-day rehab, halfway house, get everything back, and then lose it, all within a period of a year. It's the same thing, year on and year off. For the past probably now going on 7 years, it's been like that. Get clean 6 months, relapse.
You do try to get clean.
So I always try. I never stop trying. That's one thing I will give myself credit for, is there's no me out here. I've been trying to get the hell out of here now. I'll give you an example. I'm on camera, but I broke my wrist, got pistol whipped, all within 2 weeks for no reason, nonetheless. This was for no reason. And I'm not, you got people doing all types of dirt and stuff like that, not getting beat up. I get hit for no reason because, someone was trying to get someone, I don't know. But, it's getting more and more dangerous, the drugs. It's trank, it's Xylazine, it's fentanyl, Xylazine mix, ketamine. I know people that tested positive for everything. They give test kits out, and the one stuff came back positive for everything. Every single drug on the panel. So you're doing heroin and it's coming back heroin, meth, barbiturates. You're like, what the fuck? That's, that should be a sign. And again, that's not necessarily enough. What does it take, I think now is that's the thing. You've got people losing limbs from the trank. You got people getting the sores and stuff like that all over their bodies. People obviously ODing and dying. You do it, you fall out on your face, freezing to death, things, violence, obviously. I know a girl that got killed, I know another person that got shot and killed, and these are,
Here in Patterson?
And these are suburban kids. These are good kids from Wayne, kid from Bergen County, you know, some from here, and it's sad. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of the people out here now, I don't think there's one person left besides myself from like the beginning of when I first came out here.
They have died?
They're all dead, except one, and he's over there, and his legs.
I know who he is.
Yeah, him, him. He's been out here longer than me. And back then, he was an animal. But,
how he lost his legs?
He started doing dope and just kept doing it in the same spot. It would blow up. Why, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, listen, I'm not patting myself on the back for the quality in which I use. But, you know, you could always do more. You can never do less.
True that.
So that's kind of like my motto. So like, look, if I'm going to lose out on getting high, but at least I won't die, you know, I'm going to do one bag, half a bag. The likelihood of me ODing off one bag is definitely possible.
It could be possible.
Definitely possible. But, and that's another reason why they put people on Suboxone and methadone now, is so when they get out, they don't OD and die. But with this tranq stuff, it's a whole new game. The violence, you know, the disparity, loss of hope, like, you know, so many people are just like, don't even try, they don't care anymore. There's just no, they don't even try. But I'm definitely a person that tries, you know.
You're still in contact with your family or no?
Yeah, so the situation with my family is obviously, you know, a little shaky. Recently, I was clean for a while. I was doing very well. They were very happy. And then obviously this happened, so, you know, it's a shame because it's like, you know, 30 days clean is nothing to them. A year clean is nothing to them. 3 years clean is nothing to them. It's just time. Time is the dirtiest four-letter word to any drug addict. You know, it really is. I mean, everything takes time. Like, I don't want to go to a program and then do that, and then now I have to get a new cell phone, and then now I have to do this, and then I got to get this, and then I got to get an ID now, and this and that and that. And it's like, dude, you're in pharmacy, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you got to do all that. Like, you know, I should be, you know, married, looking at a house, all my friends' houses, stuff like that. Like, it's crazy, getting invited to weddings and stuff like that. They're having barbecues and going to Cabo and all these things. And, you know, a lot of my friends, one of my friends is a stereotactic neurosurgeon, my best friend. And he just had a baby, and I wasn't there for that, you know? Like, you know, he's in a medical program right now, too. And, you know, another one of my friends owns real estate. Like, all my friends are awesome. They're all clean. They're all, like, totally clean, don't even drink. Like, some of them drink, but like, no drugs, like heroin, like, no. And I'm like the only one. I'm like the bad one, you know. And it's just a shame, you know. And I don't blame anyone. Like, I don't, obviously it's my fault, my doing. I mean, I do, you know, sometimes people can make it harder, you know. I'm not really a big fan of tough love, but I think there's a happy medium. Because enabling is obviously bad too, but I think there's a happy medium. Because, you know, sometimes the tough love situation where, you know, it's like, get away from me, you know, you kind of need someone to push you, whatever, you know, and I feel like as long as someone, you know someone's there for you, it makes you feel better. So, like, I know my family's there for me. I know they love me. They're awesome. I think that there's, like, a lack of understanding to what I deal with. And again, I'm not going to sit here and say, poor me, because, you know, again, it's my doing. But there is a lot of things that I think that they don't take into account, you know. Like, obviously, my siblings do. You know, I have a metal face. I have 6 plates in my face, you know.
What happened to you?
So that's a long story. But police brutality.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's that, you know. So that causes a lot of pain, day in, day out. My wrist now, which prior was messed up. My hip I messed up. Back I messed up. you know, a variety of things. So there's a lot of physical pain I deal with, and, you know, my brain is a little crazy, you know, because, you know, from drugs, not necessarily drugs like messing up my brain, but, you know, like anxiety, stuff like that. But mainly, you know, like dealing with physical pain, dealing with the anxiety. Like I've been doing this shit for a long time, dealing with, you know, the stressors of what they might be used to. Like I'm so ingrained in the way I live, and it's kind of crazy because part of me gets upset, I think, because I live like a fellow street cat right now, as my brother says. And then it's like when I get clean, I'm expected so much. And expectations are like the death of serenity. Like you have these expectations, I think like your serenity just goes away. Like you can't have expectations because and like they expect so much, and it's like, dude, how do you expect me to do this if you're not willing to help me? You know, and then that's when addicts, us, you know, I'll speak for the bulk of us, get mad and just say, fuck it. Fuck it. What makes me feel better? This does. Fuck it. There's no thought on consequences. It's not like, oh, if I go and get to, I'm going to lose my girlfriend, I'm going to do this. No, it's fuck that. Park the car right here. If it gets towed, fuck it. I got $10. I'm going to feel better. You know, so, I think at this point now, I like really don't want to be out here anymore. I haven't been. It's getting harder and harder and harder to survive out here, and I'm not really like willing to do it. It's more just there's no. I'm not saying it was ever really fun, but there's no.
More dangerous now.
You're just sick all the time. It's either sick or not sick. There's no high. It's just sick or not sick, and then it's worse and worse and worse, and then you're just working to make money, to spend the money, to be sick, to spend the money, to work. There's no like, let me enjoy this and go, you know, to New York and go ice skating while I'm smoking weed and we're going to the club and we're going to do cocaine. No. It's me, you know, getting bit by mosquitoes, you know, trying to find a vein because it's cold out and I don't have a jacket and the water's freezing in the needle. Like, that's the real shit, you know? That's what's really going on. And then the dope that you got is garbage. So you just spent 2 hours in the freezing cold trying to make money. You finally made the money and you get straight garbage. Now you got to go right back out there and do it again. What up, bro? You got Mercedes on Smash? But, you know, and there's, actually, it's funny, because there's a lot of good people out here, you know, there's a lot of good people in this area. I've been in this area panhandling for quite some time. It's actually the two poorest wards, 1st and 4th, but there are some awesome people out here. I mean, people that I've known for years, you know, worked for, helped here, helped there, car broke down, seen their kids grow up, you know, like seeing their kids have kids, like just different things. And, you know, it's good to see that there's, you know, like you, other people willing to listen and talk, because sometimes, I was just talking to someone about that, sometimes it's just about that, just having the ability to talk, you know, because, you know, otherwise it's just, like you said, you're walking by and going, that guy, oh, he's gross, oh, he looks like shit today, you know. You might not know that the night before I got pistol whipped or something like that, or it might be this. You don't know that, oh, he's going to spend the money on drugs. I haven't eaten in a day. I'm actually going to go get a drink, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But, I mean, at this point, I think that's really...
One more minute. What is your name?
Brady.
Brady?
Brady, yeah. My real name is Thomas, but everyone calls me Brady, like Tom Brady.
Like Tom Brady?
Yeah, because right now I don't look like it, but they said I look like Tom Brady. It wasn't that I look like him. I think I had a football. I'm normally 200 pounds. Not right now. Well, I don't know.
Like 150?
Maybe.
Around there?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I walk at least 50 miles a day. No exaggeration.
That would keep you skinny.
Yeah, that's definitely keep you skinny. Yeah. And eating isn't really my favorite thing to do because it hurts my jaw. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that goes in, but I think people knowing and people, you know, kind of seeing the other side, being like, oh wow, he speaks. like, oh, he's actually a person, you know?
Of course, there's a person right there.
Yeah. It's a lot different. So, yeah. That's me. Brady.